I think they did their best. That's all I can tell you. You're dealing with lay people who aren't used to this or complicated instructions they had to go through. And there were a lot of exhibits they had to go through. So it doesn't surprise me.
How difficult is it to break down all that information? All those, they have to apply the facts to the law. And that has to be complicated.
It is, but look, we're going to find out what happened. And the good news is, at least for the family in the state of Ohio, it was not a not guilty verdict. And we just got to make an assessment as to whether or not we can win a trial.
Could you expand upon the idea that they couldn't agree on the murder charge, but they were perhaps close on the voluntary manslaughter?
We've heard that they were leaning towards acquittal on the murder, leaning towards conviction on the voluntary manslaughter.
Did you canvass them, Joe? Did you actually?
No, I did not.
When does that? How does that happen? Okay. Do you do it at some point in the prosecution's office?
We will talk to jurors who are willing to talk to us.
Process. What did you say to Mr. DuBose's dad?
Well, I mean, they want a retrial, which isn't surprising, but there's a process we have to go through to make sure that we can win a trial.
Any sense of the cost of to the state so far?
This case is going to end up, if we retry it, costing over $1 million.
If there's a retrial.
Yeah.
A lot has been made about the makeup of the jury. What are your comments on the fact that there were no black men on the jury?
Well, the black men we had on the jury didn't want to do it. And they walked off. They just said they didn't want to do it. It was going to cause too much trouble in their life, and they left. So, I mean, we had African-American males on the jury, in the pool, in the box. And the two that we had said they didn't want to do it.
Wow, did that say to you couldn't continue to try to find black men? You just thought that would be the sentence?
That's not the way it works. I mean, it's a random selection of registered voters, and they were picked, they were in the box, and they said they didn't want to do it. So, now, I mean, I don't know how you can blame the system for that. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it.
It's got to be exhausting for you and for Mark and for Rick, too, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a long case, and trying cases with Rick and Mark are, I mean, for any lawyer, it's a dream because they're so organized, they're so good, and even though we had a hung jury, I'm very proud of the way the office performed in this case. And let's not lose sight of the fact, it's very, very difficult to get a conviction on a police officer. So we've got to deal with that. And
what do you say, Joe, to the law enforcement community? There have been certainly critics of you in the law enforcement community that think you need to. This is you targeting a police officer. I know you're pro law enforcement. How difficult was this for you on that front?
Well, I mean, this is so rare because I think in my career I've cleared upwards of 100 police officers in use of force cases, and. But there's some people that are out there to think that no matter what a police officer does, they shouldn't be charged, which I think is nonsense. And, there's bad police officers, there's bad prosecutors, there's bad judges, and that's just the way it is.
Some members of the DuBose family have said, in particular, as Sam DuBose's fiancée said, a hung jury or a not guilty is not justice. How would you respond to that?
Well, she's just not paying attention because we did everything we could do. And the immediate family knows that and have expressed thanks to the state of Ohio repeatedly through this case and just now. People are going to have different opinions.
Judge Shanahan, is she upset by this, or can you share some thoughts about how she feels now?
She's getting ready to have a child, so I think she's ready for that.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you.
Okay.